So I've been battling SD cards getting corrupted. I have finally figured out what it was. The motherboard on my brand new computer is bad. Dell was supposed to send somebody out yesterday that never showed up. Now there's no tech assigned. They haven't replied to me. So at least I know what my issue is. I know which USB ports not to use. So I should not have any more SD card errors. But that's got me behind. So I'm trying to catch back up. But today we're going to be doing Electric Grape. Electric Grape is awesome color. It's definitely a go-to. But you do want to fish this thing in some stained water. It's like everything else. Water clarity, where you live, is going to dictate on what colors you're using. So definitely a great color for a Cinco. That extra flash just pulls them in. And this thing reminds me of growing up when I was a kid, like the old man's jelly worms. I don't know why it does, but this takes me back. So I love making baits that remind me of my childhood, back when things were simple and you just went out fishing and enjoyed it. So let's take a trip down my memory road. Follow along. Alright, so we got our plastic heated up to temp. So there's multiple ways to make it. This is the way I make it. It's super easy, super simple this way. So you're just going to use dead-on plastic Electric Grape. And we'll do 40 to 50 drops somewhere in there. I got some fat guys fishing. It's just the Royal Blue .040 hex. And a lot of people make this with regular silver glitter. I put the silver holographic glitter in there, and it's the square cut. I kind of like the square cut over hex. Really depends what I'm doing, but I usually favor the square cut. Alright, so let's get 40 drops in here. Alright, so we're going to put somewhere around 3/8 in here. That is a quarter teaspoon. So we'll do like 1.5. See what that looks like. And again, that's just the Fat Guys Fishing Royal Blue .040 hex. And for the silver holographic, the square cut, I got a 1/2 teaspoon here, and I'm gonna do a little under 1/2. About right there. So it's gonna be heavy flake. So I'm gonna get this in the vacuum pot. And then I'll get it back up to temp. We'll be back. Just so you guys know, I forgot to vacuum that down before I put the glitter in it. You want to vac it before, because otherwise it pulls your glitter up. I was just so focused that I did it. So let me show you the difference if you vacuum something versus if you don't vacuum something. So if you guys haven't looked into getting a vacuum pot yet, but you considering it, I'll link the one I use down below in the description. But I just wanted to show you these leftover pucks. Like, this is the watermelon red puck. and there's very little bubbles. Like there's a couple just right there, you can barely see them. So here is a leftover puck that I did not vacuum down, and you can see a ton of bubbles everywhere. So the bottom is going to have less air in it, because usually when it's hot, that air will come up to the top, and you can usually get them out to make some decent baits, but it's never going to turn out as clear as that unless you vacuum it down. So, like I said, if you haven't looked into it, start looking into it. I'll use my affiliate link, and I'll link one down below. So I debated on what mold to use today, but I'm gonna do the Do It mold. It's just the clamshell style. It's the 6-inch Cinco. I'm pretty sure Do It licensed the Cinco name to make this mold from Gary Yamamoto. I'll have to look that up and double check, but I'm pretty sure they have. So we're just going to use some Irwin clamps. They're my favorite. You can use whatever kind of clamps you got. I'll link them below too. You can get them fairly cheap on Amazon. They are much better. Let me show you. I'll show you. So they're much better than the Harbor Freight ones, hands down. But I still use these sometimes depending on what I'm doing. I use one today. Alright, let's get this injected. So for the sake of the video, I wanted to inject those and show you the true color. Now I'm going to add in some salt. You can use flour salt. I'll link it below. You can get it off of Amazon. But for today's video, I'm going to use Lureworks salt. And I just picked this up because I had to make an order anyway. So I'm just going to put half a teaspoon. I don't like them super salty. And you'll see how much that changes the color. Alright, let's get this demolded. I will be honest with you, this particular mold likes to dent sometimes. I don't see any dents though. Alright, so we're good. But yeah, this color is super flaky, but that's what you want. It's got a ton of flash. I don't know why, but every time I think of this color, I think of like heavy metal. The music, not the flake, but it definitely fits. So this particular mold, I don't throw a lot of wacky rigs, but that's why I got this mold, and that's why I went with a do-it mold. It's a good start out mold for anybody that's just getting into bait making. They look great, and you really don't need a super expensive Cinco mold, not in my opinion. Like I said, for as much as I throw them, this mold makes sense for me. So this one's a half teaspoon of salt added. And you want to stir it up with that salt because it'll sink to the bottom. Alright, let's get this unmolded. Still a little bit warm. Still no denting, so it's doing pretty good today. So I don't know if this camera will pick up the difference on it, but you can tell this one's just a little bit lighter than this one. This is the one with our salt. So depending on how much salt you get in there, it can change the color of it a lot. I'll tell you what, I'll put a lot of salt in this one so you guys can see the difference. But I don't have enough to do another full run. So let's just do it at 1. So I'm just going to take my little runner and place it in here. So we're only going to be doing 1. I should have cut it up here a little bit more, but it'll be okay. So let's get this heated back up, and I'll put some more salt in it. Alright, so we got her back hot. There's not a ton of plastic in there, so I'm just going to put another half teaspoon in and see what it looks like. I think that's enough to show you the difference better, but we're going to make it a little more drastic. So Cincos are usually like heavy salted. Let's see if I can get enough in here. So I think you can already tell in the cup. This is non-salted, no salt at all. This one's the heavy salted. So this was some salt. So no salt, heavy. I'm sorry. So no salt, a little salt, and that's heavy salt. Alright, I think it's cooled down enough. Alright, so there it is. So I'll do, let's put these back in here. We definitely got a little more flake in the one with no salt. So I don't know if reflecting the light off that mold helps. Let me take you outside in the sunlight and I'll show you. So I don't know if it picks it up like that either. The top one in person is like a, I don't know, kind of like a light purple. But that's it, guys. It's another great color. It catches them. It's a go-to color. It depends on your water clarity, though. You definitely want some stained water. But until next time, guys, get out there and catch some fish.